Hi guys, so we have an O-level past paper question from the year 2018. The session is May-June. This is question number 10. We'll calculate the midpoint, gradient, coordinates and the perimeter of a rectangle. So let's start. A is the point -4 and -1, B is the point 2 and 2, and the vector BC is 4 and -8. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. The formula for the midpoint is x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. Now what is y1 and x1 and what is y2 and x2? We look at the values over here. So x1 is this and x2 is this. So we add the two together. -4 plus 2 divided by 2. And y1 is this and y2 is going to be this. So you do -1 plus 2 over 2. So let's find the coordinates. Let's see what we get. -4 plus 2 is 2. 2 over 2 is 1. So the x coordinate is, -1, -1. And the y coordinate is -1 plus 2, which is 1. 1 divided by 2 is, of course, 0.5. So the two coordinates are -1 and 0.5. The next part says find the gradient of AB. How do we find the gradient of AB? We use the formula for the gradient, which is, let's call this M1 for the gradient of AB, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, y2 is the second value one second, I'll highlight the y2s and the x2s as well. Y2 is this value and y1 is this value, so we write these first. 2 minus -1 over x2 is this value and x1 is this value. So we do 2 minus -4. This gives us 3 over 6, which simplifies to 1 over 2, which is the gradient of AB, 1 over 2. The next part of the question says, show that BC is perpendicular to AB. Now, in order to show that the two lines are perpendicular to each other, if we multiply the gradient of AB, which we called M1, and the gradient of BC, which we will call M2, the final answer or the product will always be -1. First, we need to find the gradient of BC. How do we do that? We look at this vector right here, 4 and -8. We divide the y value by the x value. So the gradient M2 of BC is going to be -8 divided by 4, which gives us -2. Okay, now let's multiply M1 and M2. So when M1 is 0.5 and M2 is -2, when we multiply this, we should get -1. 0.5 times -2 is, of course, -1, and this is equal to -1. Therefore, these two lines are perpendicular. The next part says ABCD is a rectangle. Find the coordinates of the point D. Okay, so let's construct a rough rectangle over here. A rectangle should look like this, somewhat like this. Why should it look like this and why not a straight one? So A has coordinates. What coordinates does A have? One second. It is going to be -4 and -1. -4 and -1. And B has coordinates 2 and 2, which means B is supposed to be on the right side and a little above A. So C is definitely going to be over here, and we are looking for D, which is going to be right here. Okay, so let's connect them. And I'm connecting this through a dotted line so that D is clearly visible and marked. So first, we look at the vector BC. BC is a vector that connects B and C with the coordinates 4 and -8. That means A and D would also be connected by the same vector, which goes from A to 4 points to the right and then 8 points to the bottom, which means that this is also going to be -8. So in order to find OD, or in other words D, you add OA and the vector BC or AD, whichever one you call it. So the coordinates of A are -4 and -1, and the coordinates of the vector BC are 4 and -8. Let's see what we get. So OD, one second, let me write OD on all of these. So OD is -4 plus 4, which gives us 0, and -1 minus 8, which gives us -9. So the coordinates of D are 0 and -9. Okay, let's move on. The next part of the question says, calculate the perimeter of the rectangle ABCD. So in order to calculate the perimeter of the rectangle, first we need this length, which is AB, and we need this length BC. When we add these two lengths together, we multiply them by 2 to find the perimeter of the rectangle. Let's find AB first because we don't know what it is. So the vector AB is actually equal to OB minus OA. What is OB? B is 2 and 2, which is clearly mentioned in the question, and OA is -4 and -1. So the coordinates, the vector AB comes out to be 6 and 3. Now let's find the magnitude of AB, which will prove to be the length. So you square 6, and you square 3. When you do this, you get under root 6 are 36. 36 plus 9 is 45. Under root 45, let's plug it into the calculator. Let's see what we get. Under root 45 comes out to be 6.7 units. Okay, now we have AB. That means we have two of the lengths of the rectangle. So let's find the other length, which is going to be BC. So for BC, we do have the vector. The vector BC is actually 4 and -8. 4 and -8. Let's find the magnitude of what BC is. So both of them go inside the square root sign and get squared themselves, -8 squared. So in this case, we get 16 plus 64, which gives us under root 80. Under root 80, comes out to be 8.9 units. Okay, so to find the perimeter of this shape, what we do is we add 8.9 and 6.7 and multiply it by 2 so that we have the length of all sides. 8.9 plus 6.7 times 2 gives us 31.3 units, which is the perimeter. So we write the answer over here, 31.3. I hope this question made sense. The complete working of the entire question is present in the description below for you to download. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching.